ordered to go to the 5th Army in California. Of course, I was married at the time, and our young son, Kerry, was less than a year old. Sure couldn't make it to California in that 37 Studebaker. And so I convinced my dad he had loaned me the money to buy a new car. But it was rather difficult finding a new car after the Korean War. My oldest brother was a Marine and stationed in Chicago, and so he scouted all around and found one. My dad lent me the money, gave me a blank check. I took that blank check to this dealer. I drove off with the Ford in the car, headed down the coast of Los Angeles and stayed there for the better part of a year. Wife was in love with California at that time, and the Santa Monica Beach and all of that kind of thing. But
I wanted to stay, but Grandpa liked Indiana basketball too much. He wanted to coach. He told me many years ago that he would never get rid of it because he had his grandfather's Studebaker. He was really hurt that his father sold it when he went to the Army. So this Ford with us wherever we live. I've been with him longer than the car. I've been with him 62 years, so I've got 2 years over the Ford.
clutch, as you probably realize, it's not an automatic transmission, so they used to call this 3 on a tree because it had 3 speeds on it plus reverse, but that's what they called 3 on a tree. I used it in the summertime when I was working construction, and Dane used it as a construction car his first year or 2. By that time, Kerry went to Purdue Calumet for a couple years, and when he went down to campus, he took the Ford down there.
You probably already know the story at Purdue with your dad. Yeah, when he was in the fraternity right across from Gwen's sorority, she didn't like that big bomb the girls would caught on the campus, and she hated to admit that it was her brother's car. So it's been around. It has a nice long history, I guess, that car.
That time it was getting pretty well rusted out. He brought it back, and he and Dane, they both worked on hop rivet guns and putting new quarter panels and rocker panels on it, and got some body putty and kind of smeared that on there and smoothed it out as much as they could, and then they borrowed a paint sprayer. They sprayed it black, and it didn't look too bad from a distance. And then it sat that way for quite a while. In 1984, Jill graduated from Purdue and got a teaching job and bought a new car. And she said, "I need a garage for my new car." And the Ford was in there. So I set the Ford outside for a couple years. And of course then everybody says, "When are you going to get that Ford restored?" It was just sitting out in the driveway, rusting away. I had an opportunity. I had a young friend that really wanted to work on it. He did professional body work on it, and he painted it. And Paul Montemeyer in town, and he did all the interior work for me. Basically, about all I did was take off all the chrome and repair what had to be repaired. This was the original emblem that was on the Ford, but it had a lot of pock marks in it. And so therefore I had an idea, well, I can get some aluminum putty and fill in those pock marks and then use it as a pattern. Island I taught in the metal shop up there, and we had a foundry. Put it in a sand mold, and I poured that out of aluminum, and it came out very well. At least it came out to my satisfaction, and I was really pleased with it.
The first money he asked me for it, he said he needed $200 more, was about a month ago. And I did, so he said, see, you must love that car. No, it's just that I love him, and I know how much he loves it.
My wife has told the story from time. It's a good thing that I like to keep old things because that meant that she might keep her for a while. But
if he loves me half as much as he loves that car, why, that'll be great. You know, we'll be together a long time. Well, it's been a good adventure to have this Ford. I don't know why, it just seems to attract a lot of attention, and I still don't understand why. You know?